Hi you guys, I'm back with another voiceover today. I'm going to be showing you what I eat in a day. So I started with breakfast, obviously. I decided to just do a simple cheese omelet. So I cracked open 3 eggs this morning, mixed them up, and then went ahead and put them in the pan to cook. While it was cooking, I added some salt and pepper to the mix and then let it finish doing its thing before I flipped it. So when it was time to flip it, I kind of made a mess because 3 eggs is a lot to handle for that spatula, so it did kind of go everywhere, but I got it flipped. And then I just took some sharp cheddar cheese that I picked up at Smith's and just added that to the inside, folded it over, and then it was ready to eat. And real quick, I want to apologize for the quality of this video today. For some reason, it's very dark in my kitchen, no matter how many lights I have on, and it just never looks good, so this whole video is dark and I do apologize. So once my omelet was ready, I filled up my water, there's Spike eating his food, and then I sat down for breakfast, and this is the finished product. It was super yummy. So next it was time for lunch. The way that Zachary and I do lunch is super simple. We just make extra dinner, so we always have leftovers. So on this particular day we had chicken and green beans, so I just threw that in the microwave. And then this seasoning right here is the roasted garlic and herb. That's what we threw on the chicken. Got myself some limeade, and it's super good from Smith's. It's all natural, no extra sugar added. Super good, I love it. And then I sat down with my food, which took like 1 minute to make, so that was great and easy. So about an hour or so after lunch, I was feeling kind of snacky, but I'm trying to snack less, so I decided to make myself some green tea. So I threw that in there, and then get ready because this is the best sound ever. Alright, so once the tea was brewed, I filled up my hydro flask all the way to the top with ice, poured the hot tea in there so that I had iced tea, and then I went and grabbed some blue agave nectar syrup as a natural sweetener for my tea, which is super good. It's a really good replacement for sugar, and then it was done and super delicious. So the last thing I cooked this day was dinner. I had some avocados, black beans, shredded Mexican cheese, a bell pepper, onion, lime, tomato, fresh cilantro, and then these green spinach and herb tortillas to make some vegetable quesadillas. So I started by just pitting all of the avocados, and then I sliced them up into like cubes or so and put them all into a bowl to make some guac. Once the avocado was all done, I went ahead and chopped up the red bell pepper into cubes as well, or I guess you say I diced it. So I diced the red bell pepper, and then I went ahead and sliced the red onion and put all of those in a separate bowl together. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was on the phone with Zachary while I was making dinner because he always calls me when he's on his way home from work or school, so that's why you can see that there on my phone. For the red onion, I decided just to slice it instead of like dice it up, but it's totally up to you whichever way that you would want to cut it. Then I went ahead and diced up my tomato to add to the guac, and you'll notice I'm very picky about my tomatoes. I kept very little of this tomato because it was like super mushy and that just like freaks me out. So I added my little bit of tomato to the guac mix as well. So then it was time to mash the avocados, and unfortunately the avocados that I had sliced up were not quite ripe enough, so they were not soft, they were still kind of tough, so I wasn't able to smush them, so we just ended up having a chunky guac, which was still really good. It didn't really matter. So once I gave up with that, I went ahead and sliced up some cilantro, and then I put the cilantro, the tomatoes, and the lime juice all in the mix. So once all of the ingredients were mixed up for the guac, it was time to cook the vegetables and beans and things for the insides of the quesadillas. So I just threw some olive oil in a pan and then threw the onions and peppers in there to get them sauteed. I also added lots of salt and pepper while they were cooking as well. So while the vegetables were cooking, I decided to throw in some quick and easy Spanish rice just so we had something on the side. So that's super easy, just throw some water in there with the ingredients and then just let it cook. So that was super simple. Once the vegetables were sauteed and soft and looking really yummy, I poured in a can of black beans, which I had drained and rinsed beforehand, mixed those in, and then I added a couple tablespoons of some taco seasoning as well. The recipe doesn't say to add water once you do this, but I've noticed that it gets kind of chunky and clumpy, so I added maybe a 1/4 cup of water to the mix as well, just to kind of smooth it all out. So it was finally time for the fun part, which is actually building the quesadillas. So I took one of the green tortillas, threw quite a bit of the Mexican cheese onto just one side of the tortilla. Then I took that bean and vegetable mixture and put it right on top of the cheese on the exact same side. And you can really just choose however much you want to put in each quesadilla. It's totally up to you, however full or not full you want to make it. But I made these pretty full. Unintentionally, they ended up being super huge, which you'll see at the end. But I go ahead and I put the vegetables in there. And then once those are in there, I add the guac onto the other side of the tortilla. Then for the final step of building the quesadilla, of course I added some more of the cheese on top of the vegetable mixture because it's a quesadilla, so of course you have to have a bunch of cheese. So the pan was pretty hot, so it melted pretty much right away. So I went ahead and folded the quesadilla over, realized it was ginormous, but went with it anyways. And then you'll notice as I try to put it on the plate, it kind of tries to fall apart because it was so heavy, but it made it and it was totally delicious. And there you have it. That's the finished meal. It's not the prettiest plate, but it was so good. I went ahead and cut up my quesadilla after this clip too. But yeah, that's all for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave it a thumbs up and comment down below. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video.